Greetings, Commanders, and welcome back to our Deep Space Carrier series here in Elite Dangerous. We are continuing to do exobiology-related activities nearby our carrier, which is on its maiden voyage out to Colonia. Decided on that because it gave us a safety net. That's why. Before we get too far in the video, I'd like to ask you to help us to reach 10,000 subscribers by hitting that subscribe button. The number doesn't go up unless you press the button, so be sure to go ahead and do that now. Hit the like button to spread the video out to other people so they can subscribe. And then when you're done watching this video, we have more than 1,600 other videos available for you to watch, organized into nice, neat little playlists to make it easy for you to find whatever you're looking for. I play a bunch of different stuff, so you're going to find something, ideally. This week we're running around in the Orca, because the whole point of having a fleet carrier is to be able to carry your fleet with you. And if we're not going to use our fleet, there's no point in having a fleet carrier. Because jump range is not that big of a deal, I brought along a bunch of ships that don't necessarily have the biggest jump range, but the big ships are the ones I'm looking forward to the least because they're the hardest to find landing spots for. That's, yeah. So I'm running a little bit late today, which means, and it's also my weekend, which is when I would normally, I'm working up towards my weekend. So these are the last couple of days before my weekend. I normally record double episodes for Elite Dangerous, and they end up being shorter anyways. But I'm also just kind of running really late today on my recordings because I've been working on a project all day. I spent a good portion of yesterday, after I finished doing my recordings, tearing out the bottom of my RV because I mean, I have to retell the story. I'm sorry if you've heard this story, but I have to retell it because most people who watch my videos haven't seen this before. I live in a travel trailer, and I bought the travel trailer back before the big V thing happened. But I mean, I only say that so that you know about the time, how long I've had it. Anyways. Sorry, I just got a message, and what the message said distracted me and completely threw my brain off of what it was I was talking about. Talking about the travel trailer. I mentioned that because it gives you an idea of how long I've had the trailer. Anyways, when I first purchased the trailer, I didn't have a truck, and I had a friend pick up the unit for me and drop it off at the trailer park / RV park / whatever you want to call it that I knew I was going to be living at for a while because I didn't have a way of moving around because my income was in a specific spot, and I didn't have a truck, and I wasn't really that worried about it because I was like, I'll just live in my trailer for a while until I can get all of my ducks in a row and figure all that out. Now the problem I ended up having was that I liked the water pressure at the park that I was at was not the best, and I ended up using my water tank because the water pump in my trailer is actually pretty strong. It actually gives some pretty good water pressure. So when I'm taking a shower and all that, I like to have some pretty decent water pressure. Oh, you know what? I forgot to bring up the Elite Observatory. Give me a second to do that, and then I'll continue my story here. Because the Elite Observatory has been helping us find some things outside of exobiology to help us find. So we have one that says close ring proximity. I guess that means that the rings are closer to the thing. I don't know. Anyways, so I knew I was going to be there for a while, and so I was talking about the water tank. So the water pump in my trailer, Nested Moon, that's cool. The water pump in my trailer is actually pretty strong. So I was getting to the point where I was just like, let me just keep filling up my water tank and using my water pump so that I can get better showers because I like to have a strong water pressure when I'm taking a shower. The problem with that is that as over the course of about a year of filling up my water tank, and I don't even know if it was a year because I kept getting lazy about it and didn't feel like doing it anymore, so I switched back to city water. But anyways, over the course of a year of sometimes filling up the tank and sometimes not filling up the tank, the tank fell out of the trailer for the most part. Now, the trailer has an all-weather covering on the bottom to keep things out and to make it so that we can, go into really cold places, and the furnace in the trailer vents down into this compartment that's covered up by the very bottom, so that it can stay kind of warm in there, and the water in the water tank and in the waste tanks don't freeze over in cold places. I don't plan on going to cold places, but it's a nice function. It's a nice feature to have, and I plan on trying to make it work again. The problem. So what happened was that they used this I think 3/4 inch OSB kind of form of plywood, and they basically just shoved that between two structural pieces. There's these little vertical structural pieces that go down the length of the frame, and they just shoved this OSB board in there, and then they put the 50-gallon water tank, a 50-gallon water tank on this OSB board, no other support other than just having the plywood in there, and that was just supposed to hold 400 plus pounds of water. I'm like, I don't even know who thought that that was going to work. But anyways, the moral of the story is that it didn't work, and that the course of me filling up the water and then using the water and then filling up the water and then using the water caused that OSB board to flex to the point that it ended up snapping. And then because it snapped, that caused the water tank to fall out of its frame pieces, and fortunately, I was stationary and the cover was on. The cover, it actually, even mostly full of water, that cover prevented the water tank from falling all the way out of the trailer. Like the covering caught it and held it up. So fortunately, that wasn't a thing. If I didn't have that cover, I shudder to think what would have happened if I did not have that cover there and I was on the road and that thing decided to fall out. Oh my God, the water tank just completely gets ripped out of the system. My water pipe, my water hoses and all that stuff get all ripped all over I don't know who thought that that was a good idea. If you know anything about RVs, you know that it's not necessarily the best idea to be traveling with water in your tanks. A, it's a big waste of a bunch of extra weight that you have to haul around. And then B, it's just not good for the suspension, and it's just not good practice to do that unless you absolutely have to. But the reality of the situation is that you're going to run into situations where you need to put water in the tank, whether you're going to go like boondock somewhere and there's no services at all. Like, you need to be able to bring water with you sometimes. You don't want to do it all the time, but every once in a while you're going to want to do that. And my thought is that I can't even imagine putting any amount of water into that tank and then driving down a bumpy road or anything like that and expecting that tank to survive at all. Because if just filling it up and just filling it up over time in a stationary... Ooh. I don't really want to go get Fonticula. I know it said to biology, but I don't really want to go after Fonticula. We don't need the money that bad, and it's not interesting enough to spend the time on it, so we're just not going to go do that. All right, we're done with this. We're done with that. I need to take a second to find a new place for us to go. I believe we went from over here to over here. So why don't we go up this way for today's episode? Oh, I went way too far. Hold on. Hold on. I went way too far. What about this? How about that? 19 jumps. That's pretty good. That'll get us an episode or two. So yeah, I couldn't imagine driving down the road with the water tank anyway. Anyways, I tell that whole story to get to the part where I talk about, I ended up having to pull part of the bottom covering down to get to the water tank so I could figure out a solution. I currently have it. I bought a new piece of OSB board just because I didn't want to put an expensive piece of plywood in there only to have that end up breaking too. So I replaced the OSB board. I bought a couple of iron bars to kind of put in there, and then some ratchet straps to hold it all together, which honestly should be a pretty solid solution, except for the fact that ratchet straps don't stay tight. They don't stay tight. Especially once we start moving around, I'm going to have to go down there all the time to tighten those back up if I leave that as my solution. So I'd like to come up with something else other than ratchet straps that's a more permanent solution, maybe some kind of chains or something, just something that I don't have to worry about constantly loosening up, but I don't know what that would be. The point is that I ended up having to pull those down and then put them back up, and it's just a real pain to put that cover back on because A, they had it sealed up with foam to keep insects and other things like that from getting into the bottom, and then B, the screws that hold up the part that I had to unscrew to get it out, it's just getting the screws back in position when you can't see what you're doing is just really, really hard. So every time I pulled it out, it was just a massive pain in the butt. So I've had it in my brain that I wanted to replace the bottom of the trailer with something a little bit more modular, but I haven't really settled on a solution that isn't going to be exorbitantly expensive. There are some options out there, but realistically, if I want to do something that's a decent job, I'm probably going to have to spend $200 or $300 in materials, and that's going to hurt. But the impetus for my work on the bottom of the trailer has been that I've been hearing squirrels, or I've been hearing what I think are squirrels trying to scratch their way into the trailer. And because I had to rip out the bottom so many times, it's not sealed up, and I believe that they have easy access into that compartment down there that is created by the bottom covering. So my decision was, I'm just going to take that bottom covering completely off now so I can get in there and seal up any holes that are in the bottom. And make 100% sure that no rodents can find their way into the interior of the trailer. And now they don't have a little platform to crawl up into to get into inside that bottom compartment to start looking for start having easy ways to look for pathways into the trailer. I know it took me forever to say that. Sorry. But yeah, so a significant portion of my time yesterday was spent ripping out the bottom of the bottom cover on my trailer because just like in anything else in the world that you do, nothing ever is as easy as you think it should be. There's always some kind of thing that happens that makes it take way longer, and it makes it require much more effort. And so I spent a good portion of my time yesterday ripping that out and then cutting pieces of plywood to fit into the various holes in the bottom of the trailer, so that way I could make absolutely sure that they couldn't get inside. So I feel relatively safe and secure from the whole squirrel situation at this point. But now the problem is that the bottom of my trailer is exposed, which I would imagine most RVs don't have nice covers on the bottoms of them. But I would like to figure out getting that covered back up, because now there's a lot of exposed wiring and hoses and things like that, which, to be perfectly frank, I don't really want that open to the elements when we're driving around and, getting dust and dirt and all that other stuff in it. The stuff is hard enough to keep maintained and clean and all that stuff when it has a cover on it. So I'd like to get the cover situation figured back out. But that's something I'm gonna have to chew on that for a while to kind of figure out what I want to do and see if maybe I can come up with a way that isn't going to cost me hundreds of dollars to make it happen, because I don't have hundreds of dollars to make it happen. I'm struggling to do the little projects that I'm doing now. And then I spent the bulk of today. I just spent the last 5+ hours working on a walk-in closet renovation for the back corner of our trailer. I used to have a pair of bunk beds over there because this trailer came with a set of bunk beds, because I bought this trailer back when my kids were still kind of small enough. They were getting a little old for it, but they were kind of small enough to to sleep in some bunk beds over there. But the kids don't really. The kids are gone for the most part, and I decided I wanted to be able to use that space for storage and some other things. So, there's nothing here. So we decided we wanted to make a little walk-in closet. We have a nice little washer/dryer single combo unit thing in there, which is actually really nice. But we needed to figure out a way to put a closet rod in there to hang up all of her clothes and stuff. So I had to engineer. A shelving system to make it so that the rod had somewhere to go, because the longer you hang those rods, the more sag you're gonna get, the more flexing you're gonna.
Fuel scooping. Warning, temperature critical. Warning.
And I have no way to quickly get away. Oh my god.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Wow. Do we have 4 stars, two binary pairs next to each other? Is that what I'm seeing here? Okay, hold on. I'm sorry that I'm going to have to go into the menu for this, but I need to look for the keybind to get me outside. Camera controls. I don't remember what the camera controls were. Left control, left alt, space. Oops. Oh. Okay. Or I can just cancel, right? Disregard the changes. I don't remember what the camera controls are, though. Sorry, we're going to take a second to figure this out because I need to be able to look around without having that happen. So, enter free camera. I don't remember how to move the camera though. But entering free camera mode is number pad 0. So hold on a second. Oh, here we go. So let me see here. We have that pair there. Is there another pair? Holy crap! I'm sure that other people have come across these before, but I never have. I need to, like... Okay, I need to, like, figure out a way to... I need to figure out a way... we're going to take a second to figure out a way to... Hold on, I need to... I have a radar here that tells me where everything is, so... Let me go around to the other side over here, because I want to reposition so I can turn this around and get a screenshot for the Discord, because I don't typically find anything that makes me want to post a screenshot, but this is definitely one of them. Okay. Oh, come on. Let me try to get... So I want it to be something like this. Oh, because I'm not even... I'm sitting here pressing the wrong keys thinking I'm slowing down. Sorry. I'm a little flabbergasted because this is the first time I've ever come across anything like this before. Okay, so... Can we see? This is cool. Look at this. Okay, so now, and then we enter. I have never seen anything like this. This is the first time I've ever come across basically what looks like a quaternary system or whatever it is that you say. So I'm going to print screen. And then I have, because it's a partial screen, I have to highlight what I'm doing. And then we are going to go over into the space screenshots, and I'm gonna say, holy crap, I found a 4-star I found a pair of binary stars right next to each other, and then post that. This is so cool. This right here is the kind of stuff that we come out here and do exploring for, because I know it's just stars, but when do you find 4 stars like right here next to each other? And the funny thing is that we kind of flew through this star right here, I think, and kind of stopped to get to this one. Like, that was weird. Okay, that's okay. That's wow. Okay. Let me finish my story real quick, and then we'll end this episode, and we'll just leave this as our backdrop as we do that. So yeah, we decided we wanted to do the walk-in closet thing because we're not using the bunk beds for anything, and she has a lot of clothes, so she needed a lot more space to be able to hang up all of her stuff and have places to store her things. So I decided to, kind of figure out how I was going to do that, and just like everything else that I do, it always takes twice as long as I think it's going to. So I knew that going in, which is why I didn't get super frustrated when it happened. And, I'm not in a bad mood or anything, but I ended up using up a lot more of my day than I really should have working on this project. And I just don't have a lot of time. So all of that to explain why these 2 videos are going to be short, and why there probably isn't going to be any other videos posted that I would normally post, because they don't get enough views and I don't have the time to record. I don't have the time to record them. So it is what it is. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. We'll go ahead and end this video with this awesome view right here. Click the like button to help the video spread out to other people. Subscribe to help us reach 10,000 subscribers. And then you can join the channel as a member to get early access videos and other perks depending on the tier that you choose, or you can just leave YouTube's version of a tip with the thanks button. So again, thank you very much for joining us on this awesome episode of the Deep Space Carrier series here in Elite Dangerous. Be sure to join us for our next installment, and I'll see you then.